Day 2 at the 2020 International Bowl, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. First of 4 games today, and this morning it's the USA U-16 national team against Coahuila of Mexico. And welcome inside the broadcast booth with Butch Alcindor. I'm Matt Peterson. A busy day yesterday, 4 more games today, and we begin once again the United States versus Mexico.
Yeah, and this is a good one. I'm looking forward to this one. We have the young guys this morning. I say young guys because most of these guys are freshmen. So if they're this good now, can you imagine how good they're going to be that senior year? All the colleges across the United States all are looking at these guys. Hopefully, one of these guys are going to be playing at some big university in the future.
So mixed results yesterday. The U-16 select team lost to Panama in a shootout in the morning, but then the Americans restored order in the afternoon, beating both Mexican teams in the last 2 games. But it's not really about the results. It's more about the experience this week in Arlington. A lot of community service off the field, coach training, and more. And this will be the second run-through for these teams. They played a scrimmage over the weekend. They'll play for real this morning.
Yeah, and that's one of the big important factors about this. You know, you don't have a lot of time. You're putting together an all-star game, and that's what USA Football did. They assembled this team. They put these guys together, so they have to mesh. And it's pretty hard to do that. So you know who you're going to play. You have a chance to get some things done in a scrimmage, but then you come out today, and now it's all for real.
18 regional tryouts across the U.S. That's how they found this U-16 national team. We'll see how good they are in just a moment. Kickoff from Arlington. It's the U-16 national team of the United States against Coahuila of Mexico. Day 2 of the International Bowl is moments away.
Gatorade packs carbs to refuel and electrolytes to replenish, so you can bring the heat. Nothing beats Gatorade.
My man.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see the number this. That's 5'6" Dwayne. That's a while ago.
You know, if playing for the national team is one of your dreams, by all means chase it. You know, trust in your ability and you know, just have faith in yourself.
USA football is where it's at. You see where we at. Hey, go check the history. It's like one of the best. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, I think you should jump on the opportunity playing on the national team just because of the competition you're going to be going against. Every coach there is going to provide you with information that you're going to need at the next level.
A lot of us at high school were, hey, block left, block right, you're bigger and stronger than everybody, just dominate them, right? And to actually learn technique.
I still use information that I learned from back when I was there today, and I'm here at the NFL Combine, so jump on that opportunity.
I feel like the U.S. national team is a great experience. If you're looking for something that will help you get better as a person and as a player, you should definitely go be in the U.S. national team. Dwayne Hassan, Nikhil Harry.
Roshan Joseph.
Taylor Rapp, I'm a national team alumni.
Part of the U.S. national team.
And I'm a national team alum.
I'm a USA national team alum.
That's it. Sounds good.
Appreciate you.
My name is Robert Pomazek. I'm the head football coach at St. Charles North High School. This is my 7th year in that position. 2 years ago at the USA Football Clinic, I found out about this player monitoring system from a coach at DeSoto High School who had used it with his program, and how game-changing it was to be able to look at hard data on what the physical load the players were taking on. So when I looked into it, it seemed like a clear-cut winner for us to take our program to the next level.
Gatorade packs carbs to refuel and electrolytes to replenish, so you can bring the heat. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Set for kickoff. High school football on ESPN. It's the 11th International Bowl. USA under-16 national team against Coahuila of Mexico. United States is in red. Coahuila is in white. Matt Peterson with Butch Alcindor. And you never know what to expect from these games. These teams have come together really for the first time this week some of the international teams such as Mexico a little more time to practice together, but great competition. 6th consecutive year in Arlington for the International Bowl.
Well, one of the things I've noticed is you look at the rosters and you see the size difference. That's the first thing that jumps out at me. Team USA, a lot bigger than Coahuila, so I wouldn't be surprised if Team USA came out and ran the football more early on. Guys like Carson Green, Andre Craig, we may get to see them carrying the rock early in this ballgame.
Coahuila will kick. Andre Macias with things started this morning from Arlington. Bounces to about the 20. And good coverage from Coahuila. Short return for the USA 16 national team. A return from Ko Asanubi, the wide receiver from Avon, Massachusetts.
Yeah, that was great coverage down there by Team USA. They got there in a hurry. And like I said, it'll be great to see how they start this game, how they come out of the gate, and whether or not they try to establish that running game. Use some of the size up front. They have that big offensive line, and we'll see if they go to work with that. But they also have some really good passers on this team.
First play, Appler out to the left. Another throw, deflected, nearly intercepted. Great defense right off the bat from Coahuila, as they were ready for that trick play on the first play from scrimmage for the United States.
Wow, that almost blew up on him. Asanobi right there trying the wide receiver pass, and good pressure by Coahuila. They read that one out, and it's not often you can blow up a trick play in an all-star game because you're not really looking for it.
The quarterback is Brendan Storr out of Dallas, Texas, just down the road from Arlington. Two right, two lefts for Storr, one in the backfield. He will hand it off. A good tackle once again. A good start here for Coahuila on special teams in the first two plays. They've been ready to play. First carry goes to Ty Favy out of Fountain, Colorado.
Yeah, a lot of things expected from this guy. He's not quite as highly recruited as some of the other running backs, but boy, he's had an outstanding summer so far, and he just continues to improve with the more action he gets. He was a middle school MVP.
3rd and 8. He'll try to run for it, and he will get there. Nice run on 3rd and 8 from Storr, the quarterback, who slides for the first down.
Yeah, Storr did a great job of just being patient on the play. I mean, he let that develop. He was looking down, did not see what he wanted as he's looking downfield on the rollout right, and then he decides to pull it down, and then it's all Brendan Storr after that. He makes a couple of nice moves, and then he does the best thing. He slides in to protect himself at the end of the run.
Quarterback at Highland Park High School, Brendan Storr. A flag, actually a timeout, moments before the play call. It's 4th and short. I thought it was a first down, I beg your pardon, but it's 4th and about a half a yard. Coahuila will call time before this 4th down play.
Well, they probably marked it wherever he started that slide, and that's kind of a judgment call, and so they pushed it back a little bit, so he's short. But talking about Storr, he's one of those guys, I know he's just a freshman, but he's a very polished quarterback at this point. People think that, he has a good arm, he's a good passer, but he can also beat you with his legs. He's not a Lamar Jackson type guy, but he's got decent enough speed to where you have to respect his speed, and he showed it right there.
And that seems to be the new wave of quarterbacks at the high school, college, and pro level. Not everyone's going to be a Lamar Jackson, few can, but with the proliferation of amazing defensive ends, it seems like every draft class now has high-end, all-star caliber defensive ends. Having NFL quarterbacks that can escape the rush, pick up a first down here and there is important.
Well, Storr is a playmaker, and he has a play to make here on a big 4th down.
Option play, pitched out, fumbled. And will he get the first down? It will be close. He's stuck with it. Favy looks like he has the first down.
That's all Ty Favy. Watch him keep his composure. Storr with really an ill-advised pitch. I guess he could have handled it, but he does a great job of going back to reacquire the ball, and then he dances his way forward and picked up that first down for Team USA.
Favai with the long hair. Come out of his helmet, out of Fountain Fort Carson High School, Fountain, Colorado. The featured back on this first series. Through on receivers. Storer will roll out, throw it downfield, has a man at the 45-yard line. He's out to midfield. Brady Kennedy out of Las Vegas with the catch.
Nice job again by Storer. You're going to see here, he keeps his eyes downfield, even though he's rolling left, throws back across the field, and he has his man. He finds Kennedy coming across the middle, puts that ball right on the money. Nice pass by Storer.
Kennedy, a receiver at Faith Lutheran High School in Las Vegas. Maybe encroachment, a free play. Storer recognizes that. He will be fumbled, and it's picked up for Vi right back to midfield.
Well, we're seeing kind of what happens now in an all-star game there. You know, you're not really used to working together, and things don't always work out the way they're supposed to. Now here, Storer is trying to tell his receiver to go. He thought there was a flag on the play. He thought he had that free play, so he was going to take a shot downfield, except he fumbled the ball, and Favai is there to pick it up and save the day again. Second fumble he picked up today.
We've seen over the years of the International Bowl, the American teams kind of slow starting, understandable. These players coming from all across the United States. Oftentimes, 20 or so states represented. This team, 50 players from 19 states. Takes a while to coalesce in the middle of a game. He finds his man downfield, caught at the 8-yard line. Touchdown! K.O. Asanubi. About a 50-yard touchdown throw.
Just a great job right there by Storer directing traffic. Asanobi right down the sideline, using that speed. He got behind everybody. Storer knew very early on it was going to be open, directed him downfield, and that pass is right on the money, and Team USA breaks out in front just like that, despite the mistakes they were able to overcome on this drive. Just a beautiful pass from Storer to Asanobi.
Goes for 46 yards, a great start. A little bit of backyard quarterback from Storer. 2 plays in a row, he's directing traffic to his wide receivers. PAT is up and through. It's 7-0. USA 16 National over Coahuila in the morning game at the International Bowl.
Riddell has been at the forefront of innovation in football equipment. First, we invented an icon. Then, we created football's leading impact monitoring system. We also introduced a truly customized interior. And now, we reimagined the DNA of the helmet. By constantly operating at the forefront of technology, our engineers are designing the future of the game today.
Football has evolved countless times, becoming the game we love today. We believe tomorrow's version can be a smarter and safer one. That's why we created the football development model. It decreases contact and focuses on progression by age, skill, and game type, starting with fun and fundamentals. It gives athletes more ways to play and more reasons to stay. Help us create a smarter and safer football that brings people together. Explore the football development model at usafootball.com/FDM.
Will you be the selected one? Are you giving us everything you've got to be the best you can be? You got to dig down deep. Every drill, every competition. Don't even represent just your family, but this family. You got to be willing to let that blood flow. You got to bring it out in you. What we want is a band of brothers coming together. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. Here we go. Get loose.
7-0 USA 16 National over Coahuila here in the first quarter at the International Bowl. A good start for the U.S. Took them a while to kind of break through the Coahuila pressure, but then a long pass play got them into the end zone.
It was a little sloppy at the beginning, and maybe because it's 8:30 in the morning when they kicked off. You know, we got to give these guys a little bit of slack here, because think about it. They're all freshmen in high school. When you were a freshman, were you anxious to get up and go to school?
Not
Probably
at all.
not. So these guys, it's a little different. But, boy, you could see them starting to get into a groove as that drive went on. They started to get more and more success. Storer did an outstanding job of leading his team down for the touchdown.
Kickoff received around the 20-yard line. Good return out past the 40, bumped out at the 45-yard line. And now down to the sideline for Lauren Leal.
To the game, as we just saw the first points on the board go to Team USA, number 81, bringing it in the end zone. I got a chance to speak with Coach prior to kickoff, in which he told me this team is excited to be out here today. Maybe one of the best 16 national teams we've seen in the 11 years here at the International Bowl. Now, he said that the guys leading up to the game yesterday, they were a little lethargic due to how well they played the day before in the scrimmage. He said they had the opposing team's number, and that is for sure, but they are amped up and ready to go today. He's excited to see the new tailbacks and the new defensive backs out here on this squad, but it starts from up front. The O-line, the D-line, they're very fresh, a lot of great running backs, so that's what we're expecting here to see today from this 16 national team. I'll send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Lauren. We're looking forward to your reports throughout the day. Busy day for you yesterday. Back at it this morning.
Well, that's a huge play, the sack by Romeo Holland. And I tell you what, he was the guy on the kickoff return. Lauren talked about being amped up. He had a big stick on the kickoff return against Coahuila, and then he comes back and he pressures the quarterback and yanks him down. What a nice sack by Team USA.
Aaron Munoz, the quarterback, 5'5" from Saltillo, Mexico. Coahuila is just west of Laredo and just southeast of Big Bend National Park, for those familiar with Texas-Mexico geography.
Boy, that's De'Aaron Ego Sagi. And, boy, he was shot out of a cannon on that one. How about that? 6'2", 340 from Grand Prairie, Texas. And he's in the backfield. I mean, did he hear the play or what? Just a great play by big number 98. And we thought that might be a problem with the size difference, and we're seeing it kind of take effect early in this ball game.
3rd and 20 for Coahuila. Throws back across the grain. It was dropped. Good throw that time. Catchable ball for Leonel Borrego.
Well, Borrego got his hands on that one. And, you know, when you're Coahuila in a game like this against an opponent that's bigger, maybe faster, I mean, you can't afford to miss too many opportunities. And he had his hands on that football, did not convert the play. It would have been a big play for the Mexican team.
A common storyline, these international teams not as deep as the American teams. Borrego listed as a linebacker, or maybe more of a defensive first player, asked to make a catch there on 3rd down.
You got to have skills and play multiple positions when you're talking about international football. And that's the good thing about it. You're seeing more and more coaches from the United States travel abroad to these different countries to teach American football. And so you look at these foreign teams, and they're getting better and better each year of the International Bowl. You can just see the improvement.
Punted away on 4th down. Takes a friendly roll for Coahuila, and will roll out around the 37-yard line. USA 16 National will start its 2nd drive after a touchdown throw on its first. Nice throw from Brennan Storer. Ko Asanubi.
You know, you and I both do college football also, and that's a lot of fun. And it reminds me of a story a couple of years ago I did, McNeese State versus Lafayette, Louisiana. And Coach, we went to practice the day before. Coach says, come into my office. I want you to meet somebody afterwards. We go into his office. He has a Japanese coach there who came in just to study and learn offensive and defensive formations.
It's great trading of tools and secrets and schemes, and we see that even the best American college coaches at the biggest programs, they will go visit NFL teams, visit other college programs to trade notes.
And here we go. We come back on the replay, and it's a fine carry right there by Andre Craig. He's one of the running backs we talked about at the beginning of the show. He's a guy to keep an eye on. Dynamic, really one of the explosive, big play type guys, and he was corralled there.
Now a throw caught at the 44-yard line, dancing out to the right. Near a first down, Brady Kennedy with another catch.
Good to see Brady Kennedy in this game, making his presence felt early. You know, he's not one of the guys we heard a lot about, so he comes into this game. It's an opportunity for him to show some of these colleges, hey, I have skills too. Let me get on your radar, and you think about, you know, maybe bringing me to your program.
3 receivers to the left. He's looking that way. High throw, incomplete. Good coverage, the intended target. Once again, Ko Asanubi.
You know, all of these guys are good, though. When you figure USA Football amasses all these guys. They bring them in, and they have an opportunity to scout them and look at them in action, and they pick the best of the best. So anybody in this game is pretty doggone good.
Hand it off, right up the middle. Short gain, frustration a little bit. For the running back, that's Jadon Alston out of Goose Creek, South Carolina.
Yeah, Alston doesn't really have the size of some of the other running backs you're going to see today, but he has quickness.
Open man downfield, caught at the 35-yard line. He'll spin away. Another catch, Ko Asanubi.
Yeah, Asanubi has made his presence felt. We have a new quarterback in, Liam Appler, and watch his pass. Right on target as he gets his man coming across on the slant downfield, and it's another big pickup for Team USA.
Appler comes in. We'll see that quite a bit today. Asanubi has been the featured man. It's from Avon, Massachusetts. Already has an offer from Boston College. Nice catch diving to his right. Third catch for Brady Kennedy here in the first quarter.
Boy, nice grab by Kennedy, but also a good job by Appler getting that ball off. Let's take a look at Asanubi here as he's going to just trot downfield. And that time he was more of a decoy because all the action was going the other way. So, and if you were a defensive back and you saw him, you would have known that too.
Hand off right side. Well tackled. Jadon Alston. Wrapped up by Derek Becerra, the linebacker. And Boston College, an exciting hire this winter. Jeff Hafley comes over from Ohio State, was the co-defensive coordinator. Hafley at BC, and a decision to make for a Maryland native in Asanubi. Might he want to stay home and go to BC?
Yeah, I think for these guys, it's great to have options, and a lot of these guys in this game have several options to choose from.
Oh, a screen is set up. He breaks a couple tackles, knocked down at the 6-yard line. Bruce Mitchell, good vision, the Plano, Texas native.
Yeah, waiting to see Bruce Mitchell break out in this game. Of course, he's one of the top wide receivers in the country, not just in Texas, in the entire country. So this guy can get it done. He has size, and he's just a fine target for any quarterback. 6'1", 178 pounds. So you can find that guy out there in the secondary.
Receiver at Parish Episcopal School, handed off left side, daylight and a touchdown. Jadon Alston.
Boy, that looked easy, didn't it? We can take a look here. We're going to see Bruce Mitchell just blocking back inside, but that was all Alston as he goes around the left side. And tip your hat to the offensive line, because I think U of I could have scored on that one. I mean, they cleared everybody out of there. It was a big hole and a nice touchdown for the USA national team.
Another dominant start from the United States after the U-17 and under-17 select teams won convincingly yesterday in the final 2 games of the day. And now the kicker from Kingwood High School, Kingwood, Texas, north of Houston, on for his second PAT. A bright start, 2 touchdowns inside the first 8 minutes for the U-16 national team. The first, Ko Asanubi. The last, Jadon Alston, a 6-yard run. 4 minutes left first quarter. 2-touchdown lead for the U-16s.
My name is Robert Pomazek. I'm the head football coach at St. Charles North High School. This is my 7th year in that position. 2 years ago at the USA Football Clinic, I found out about this player monitoring system from a coach at DeSoto High School who had used it with his program, and how game-changing it was to be able to look at hard data on what the physical load the players were taking on. So when I looked into it, it seemed like a clear-cut winner for us to take our program to the next level.
Gatorade packs carbs to refuel and electrolytes to replenish, so you can bring the heat. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Riddell has been at the forefront of innovation in football equipment. First, we invented an icon. Then, we created football's leading impact monitoring system. We also introduced a truly customized interior. And now, we reimagined the DNA of the helmet. By constantly operating at the forefront of technology, our engineers are designing the future of the game today.
High school football on ESPN, the 11th International Bowl. We're in Arlington, Texas. AT&T Stadium, 14-0, USA 16 National over Coahuila of Mexico.
No surprises so far, man. I mean, this game so far has gone according to plan, at least what we were told. And, you know, Team USA has some of the top athletes from 36 states around the country for these 7 teams here today. That's pretty impressive.
Return begins from the 21-yard line, about a 10-yard return. Coahuila will start at the 32-yard line after the return. Luis Lacerio out of Torreon, Mexico.
Yeah, 19 states are represented here just on this under-16 team. So they got a wide variety of guys from all over the country, and that's something else that's pretty good. You mentioned that part of it at the top, the camaraderie. These guys, you meet guys from all over the U.S. and internationally too, and friendships are made in these games, friendships that can last a lifetime, really.
Yeah, we've seen it over the years. Some of the U-19 national team players, they're from different states. They become friends. Some of the players have been in the U.S. national team program for a few years. They meet maybe as high school freshmen. They end up committing to the same college a couple of years later. They end up at a Power 5 program, and the friendship began over the course of the International Bowl over a few seasons.
Just really a nice thing to watch, and watch it develop and go on, and see these young guys turn into young men.
On first down, a handoff to the left, well covered. Excellent tackle. Quincy Nevins out of Rocheron, Texas.
Yeah, Quincy Nevins, 5'10", 150 pounds, and he can make some plays out there from his cornerback position, and that time he did a good job of coming up to make the tackle on that run play. He came up quickly, which means that he was paying attention during film study and saw something there and recognized the play and was able to get up there quickly and make the stop.
Rocheron, southwest Houston, south of Sugar Land. 2nd and 11 for Coahuila. Quarterback Aaron Munoz fakes the handoff, rolls right, has a man, caught, and brought down to the 38-yard line.
That was actually a well-executed play by the Coahuila team here. If you watch Aaron Munoz right there off the fake, he had pressure in his face. Somehow he got the football off to the running back, though, and it's a short gain for Coahuila, but anything at this point to help try to jumpstart this offense is going to be a big help.
Luis Lacerio with the reception brings up 3rd and 5.
And that's what they can do. They've shortened the field. By completing that short pass, they have a 3rd down and manageable for this team, and it gives them the opportunity to keep the drive going, and then basically to get back in this game. They're trailing 14-0 early on. What I've noticed, though, is Coahuila is having more problems getting their plays in and getting their offensive sets in. We've seen guys run on late and they come out of the huddle, they have to go back, and that's just not having played together before.
Hard to simulate certain game situations. We've seen it over the years. Oh, poor exchange, fumbled and well recovered by Munoz.
Wow.
Seemed to be misunderstanding on the route for the running back.
Hudson Faulkner. Talk about being shot out of a cannon. You know, he tackled both players on the play. Munoz went down, and so did the ball. He hit the running back and the quarterback, and the ball popped out, and just what a fine defensive play. He came in there and made a great play. Hudson Faulkner, a defensive lineman, 6'1", 235 pounds from Burlington, North Carolina, making his presence felt.
Now plays at Eastern Alamance High School in North Carolina.
My goodness, these defensive linemen, they're spending a lot of time in the backfield.
They're roaring to go. We're seeing a show of a blitz here for USA 16 National. As the punt is away, fielded at the 40-yard line. Here comes Daniel Demary, breaks the tackle, spins away, looking for space on the right side and brought down.
Demary couldn't decide where he was going to go on that play there. And the USA, it's fun to watch. And watch this kick. He did a great job of getting the punt off. And then right there, Daniel Demary starts one way and says, no, I'm going to go back the other way. Does a good job of breaking the tackle, staying on his feet, keeping his balance, and getting back across the field. Didn't get much of a game, but boy, it was a pretty exciting play to pick up just a couple of yards.
Demary, another North Texas kid out of Parish Episcopal School in Dallas. Up the middle, over midfield, and brought down. Big carry once again. That time Carson Green, another Texas kid from San Antonio.
We are going to see a lot of running backs this morning, and Carson Green is one of the best on this team. All the coaches say he's just a natural runner. He has all the ball skills. You know, he was in the International Bowl as a 7th grader.
Throw from midfield, has a man caught at the 10 and brought down just shy of the end zone. Another spectacular throw from Brennan Storer, and the catch made by Bruce Mitchell.
Yeah, we talked about Bruce Mitchell having that skill set, and he's showing it off this morning. Beautiful pass, though, right on the money. Mitchell was wide open on that play, and he takes it right down to the one, you know, just short. I bet he thought he was going to get in there, just came up a little short as he was tackled, short of that goal line.
The Texans combining there for the long pass play. Now 1st and goal. He'll bulldoze his way into the end zone. 2nd touchdown run for Jaden Alston.
Well, they're just doing a good job of controlling that line. And when you control the offensive line, you can do whatever you want offensively. And that's what's happening right now for Team USA. Their 2nd rushing touchdown of the first quarter. A nice shot there as the first quarter ticks down. But what a beautiful drive. And it was a quick drive, a very quick drive.
I'll let the PAT go here at the end of the first quarter. Kingwood native Joshua Gill, and it's blocked. It'll be 20-0 after the block PAT, something to build upon for Coahuila on special teams.
And if you're a Houston Texans fan, you know that a 20-0 lead is not a safe lead. It might be safe today, but it wasn't safe for the Texans.
Or a 24-0 lead, for that matter. Great start for the USA 16 national team, up 20 after 1.
Riddell has been at the forefront of innovation in football equipment. First, we invented an icon. Then, we created football's leading impact monitoring system. We also introduced a truly customized interior. And now, we reimagined the DNA of the helmet. By constantly operating at the forefront of technology, our engineers are designing the future of the game today.
Football has evolved countless times, becoming the game we love today. We believe tomorrow's version can be a smarter and safer one. That's why we created the football development model. It decreases contact and focuses on progression by age, skill, and game type, starting with fun and fundamentals. It gives athletes more ways to play and more reasons to stay. Help us create a smarter and safer football that brings people together. Explore the football development model at usafootball.com/FDM.
Will you be the selected one? Are you giving us everything you've got to be the best you can be? You got to dig down deep. Every drill, every competition. Don't even represent just your family, but this family. You got to be willing to let that blood flow. You got to bring it out in you. What we want is a band of brothers coming together. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. Here we go. Get loose.
We begin the second quarter from Arlington, Texas. Matt Peterson with Coach Sandor. 20-0 USA 16 National over Coahuila. And very interesting coaching staff for the USA 16 National. Fred Bolitnikoff Jr. is the head coach. So we'll take all of his coaching scouting reports on these players with that context, that great football family, great history for Bolitnikoff, now a high school coach in Henderson, Nevada at Coronado High School.
And of course his dad, an all-pro receiver with the Oakland Raiders, back when the Raiders were the Raiders and they were mean and bad and all that stuff. And you know what I remember about Fred? Just all the glue. He would wear the tape on his forearms, and he'd have all the glue, not like Lester Hayes type glue, but he had all kind of stick-em all over him. And nowadays these guys have these gloves that are so great. And we have an onside kick.
Well recovered by Coahuila. We saw this from the United States U-17 national team yesterday afternoon. It was recovered by the kicker, Jay Patel. That time, Coahuila was up to the task. Good field position for the Mexicans.
Well, if it's in the playbook, they're probably going to take a chance on running it just to see what it looks like. And, you know, that's what these all-star games are for. You know, if it's in the playbook, run it. See what happens. But for this Mexican team, for Coahuila, they want to come out and just get any success at all offensively. I mean, they've been completely stymied by this Team USA defense. So the first thing they want to do is just try to get a first down here, continue to drive, work some of that clock.
Two left, two right, one in the backfields. Option play, short gain. A shoulder tackle that time from Romeo Holland.
And we've called his name out a couple of times here in the first half. So he's a young man. He has some good size. He's 5'10", so he's not quite the height, but he's 190 pounds from Webster, Massachusetts. And, you know, looking at a guy in this game, and it's an opportunity for the scouts to see them, but it's also an opportunity for these guys just to learn, to continue to learn more and more about the game. You know, you're with different coaches, you're learning from a different aspect, and they're going to continue to grow. We cannot stress enough, most of these guys are freshmen on their football teams.
Great off-the-field service opportunity as well. One of the coaches mentioned that they had a unique service opportunity that was canceled due to weather, as the pass is intercepted right at midfield, and he will take it all the way to the end zone. Pick six, Demary Daniel.
Boy, and I tell you what, he just read that all the way. And we can take a look at that again as Team USA celebrates. That's Daniel Demry right there, and he had a running start on that thing. He anticipated where the pass was going to be, and he actually beat the receiver to the ball. He had a running start, and then once he took off, it was a foot race down the sidelines, and that wasn't really fair because he had the play completely in front of him. He saw where the ball was going, and that's one of the things they're going to have to learn on the Coahuila side, is the quarterback will have to learn to look off that defensive back. That time he stared down the receiver, and the defensive back knew exactly where he was going with the football.
PAT is up and good. A few high school teammates now with touchdowns. Demary at Episcopal High School, Parish Episcopal in Plano, Texas. His teammate Bruce Mitchell scored earlier today.
Yeah, and that's one of the beauties of this team. You know, not only can you be here on an all-star team having some success, but you can do it with a teammate. And as you can see on that look, he saw it all the way. You know, he was playing from his safety position, broke on the football, did a great job of chasing it down, made the catch and took it in.
Now to the sideline for Lauren Leal.
Guys, huge play that we just saw earlier by number 19, Bruce Mitchell, that had that huge catch before number 5 ran in that touchdown. Guys on the team call this guy Batman. I asked Coach, why does he refer to this name? He said, he's a high-flying player, very intense. And as I said earlier, Coach is very impressed by these running backs, all 4 running backs. He said whether 2 of them are going to run you over, the other 2 are scat back, going to run around you. Once they get ahead in space, they will not fall behind. So very impressed with this USA team today.
Thanks again, Lauren, for your report. Batman, I guess Robin might be his high school teammate who just had the pick 6. Excellent interception return for the touchdown from Daniel Demary.
Well, the entire USA national team, they're all playing like superheroes right now. I mean, they're looking really good. Up 27-0. We have 10 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the second quarter. But it's been impressive. Outside of that opening drive where they stumbled a little bit, had a couple of fumbles, put the ball on the ground a few times, but they still took it in for a touchdown. They finished off the drive with points, and that was so important, and they haven't stumbled again since.
I try another onside kick, and again it's covered up by Coahuila. It's a fine line, I think. I think you want to respect your opponent and beat them soundly, but back-to-back onside kicks, up 27 in the first half. Your thoughts, Butch Alcindor?
Yeah, you know, Salas was there and did a great job on the recovery right there. But, yeah, no, I was trying to think about that myself, too. I don't know what you can get out of that at all when you're up 27-0 in a ball game. But if it's, like I said, if it's in the playbook, they're going to take a look at it and try to execute it. And if nothing else, Coahuila is getting some great field position out of this. If they can just put it into some use offensively, they're starting in a great position.
Well, yesterday, an International Bowl record point total score by the U.S. under-18 select team. They beat Querétaro of Mexico 75-0. We'll see if that record is approached, but a lot of football left to play here. Second quarter, 10:55 left. 2 touchdowns for Jaden Alston. Daniel Demary, the pick 6. The most recent touchdown, the opening score was from Keo Asanubi. Backpedaling quarterback. He'll finally throw it out to this near sideline to avoid the sack. Nice elusiveness there from Aaron Munoz.
Yeah, he did a great job just to get rid of the football, and you can see him right there yelling down at the sideline and wondering where his receiver was, but he was under pressure the whole time, so he did a great job of just getting rid of the football. And as you can see, it's an all-star game, so you are going to have the situations where you're not on the same page, and we're seeing that happen right now with the Coahuila team. One thing about USA football, you know, they plan to introduce what they call the football development model, and this is designed to make the game safer. And that's what it's all about nowadays, because we hear all this stuff about concussions and how they can linger and that kind of thing. So just the fact that they're trying to make the game safer is a really big deal.
2 receivers left, 2 to the right, and 1 in the backfield. And they're also embracing flag football. It's a big part of the sport, a growing part of the sport. Handoff up to the 42-yard line. Carry that time for Andre Macias at Torreon, Mexico.
Yeah, I know you were able to do a couple of flag football games yesterday. Part of that situation is reducing the contact. That's something they want to do. Teaching athletes in a progression-based system according to their age, where they're not trying to do things too fast. And they're using the flag football now, and they're also using a version of tackle that's not quite as contact-oriented.
And the comparison yesterday from the USA football folks was similar to baseball, and the growth of baseball from T-ball on up, from T-ball to coach pitch to player pitch. Throw on 3rd down is too far wide. An appeal for a flag we see there from the wide receiver Leonel Borrego. It's Braylon Johnson in coverage out of Henrico, Virginia.
Yeah, it's a 4th and 6 now, so at this point you might as well go for it. I mean, we'll see what Coahuila decides to do, but at this point in the ball game, take your best shot. Try to get that first down. It's only 6 yards. You got a play that you think is going to be good for 6 yards. Now is the time to run it, because you really need to keep this football and chew some time off of that clock. And it looks like they're going back out there. I can't see, is the punter out there, or let's see what they're going to do here. Now it looks like they're going to go for it. I think that's the right move at this point.
You might as well. Now, Bill O'Brien can punt on 4th and 4 down 17 in the fourth quarter. These guys might want to go for it down 27 in the second quarter.
Take a shot. They only need 6 yards on the play. Dial up something, somebody coming across. He rolls. Now he's going to keep it on the quarterback draw, and he just didn't have the speed.
Anthony Dodd with the tackle. Dodd from Salisbury, North Carolina.
Yeah, and that was a situation, that was a surprise. It looked like he was going to roll him out. He tried the misdirection, act like he was going out to the right on the rollout, and then he kept it there. Sorry, I got a little too excited there. Jumped in on your job. I didn't mean to do that. But he cut back in, had some room, just did not have the speed to make it happen.
These defensive linemen and the front 7 or so for USA 16 National have been impressive. Another drive for the Americans. Thrown out to the right side. Catch made, a pickup of 4 or 5. Deacon Tonelli, the tight end out of Oswego, Illinois.
Tonelli made a great job on that catch there. And we're going to start to see some different players out there now. Appler's back in at quarterback, and with the big lead, they're going to take a look at everybody.
Under the left side, open man, catch made inside the 40-yard line. Another catch. K.O. Asanubi, he was the featured wide receiver on that first drive. High praise for Asanubi, who's been offered a scholarship from Boston College. Described by Bolitnikoff as a tall, long, lean wide receiver, as we've seen, ability to get open at will. Summer of 18 at the middle school bowl game, scored a pair of touchdowns, led his team to victory in Canton, Ohio.
Yeah, he's done a great job. That's Andre Craig there. And, of course, he's one of the running backs that we've heard a lot about coming into this game. And I'm sure we're going to see more and more of these guys. What Team USA is doing right now is doing a great job of showcasing these players. They're spreading the wealth. Everybody's getting a chance at touching the ball, and you have to do that in an all-star game.
Here's Craig again. He was the MVP the middle school bowl game in Canton, Ohio. He's a regular at the International Bowl. He's been part of the U.S. national team since 6th grade.
Yeah, I was surprised at how many of these guys have participated in the International Bowl since middle school. I mean, that's a lot of experience, but you can do it that young when you're putting safety first, and that's always been the approach of USA football.
Flags come out. Looks like an offside call, so a free play here for the USA 16 national teams. And I think it's experience around coaches. These college coaches and high school coaches can teach their players about the recruiting process and how to handle an official visit. Offside was the call. They can learn that from their high school coaches, but having different perspectives and other guys who have been there on the other side, teaching them and coaching them up for what to expect in the recruiting process, it should go a long way.
It's a big deal. I mean, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's a big deal. I can tell you, when I came out of high school, we didn't have counselors and all that, and I had these teams recruiting me, and I didn't know what to do. I mean, wasn't familiar with a lot of colleges.
Another touchdown for the USA. K.O. Asanubi.
And boy, he's delivered the KO today. I mean, it's a beautiful pass from Appler. Just floats it down the sidelines, and Asanubi, obviously he has that speed to separate, because when we look downfield, he's with the defender, and then all of a sudden the ball goes in the air, and he has that speed to separate, and he goes down, and he's having himself a whale of a first half here. I mean, my goodness, he's been the #1 target, and he has done a great job of catching the ball and extending the play.
2 touchdowns for K.O. Asanubi, the first for Team USA, and now the 5th of this first half. It's been dominant, and it's sort of like they're setting up those big plays with these small plays. They pick up a few yards around midfield, chunks of 3, 5, 10 yards at a time, and then when they get around that Cowboys star at midfield, they go deep. A few long pass plays here in the first half. The AT is up and good from Joshua Gill. 34-0 United States. Great start for the USA 16 national team. 5 touchdowns here in the first half in Arlington.
Can't guard me, I'm telling you. Hello, son. Doing a little sporting, I see.
Dad, not cool.
You know it's not uncool? Old Spice After Hours. It whisks sweat away into the night with jazz.
Dad, I prefer Ultra Smooth. It handles sweat without all that jazz.
Let's settle this over a game of...
Don't say it.
Don't say what?
Horse.
That's my boy.
There may be trouble ahead, but while there's moonlight and music and love and romance, let's face the music and dance.
Free 2-hour grocery delivery, now with Prime.
High school football on ESPN, the 11th International Bowl, 6th consecutive year. It's been at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. And another dominant start for the United States. The USA 16 national team up 34-0 over Coahuila. The USA U-16 select team yesterday morning lost to Panama, a shootout. But it's been all United States since 2 afternoon games. The 17s and the 18s both picking up victories. The 17s 51-7 over Mexico Norte yesterday afternoon, and then a historic record-setting victory. The U18 select over Querétaro of Mexico 75-0. Panama win, an air raid style offense from Panama. They won 45-41. Oh, Jolly, the MVP of that game, 4 touchdowns for Panama. Conventional kickoff here for the United States. Fumbled at the 20-yard line, retrieved, and a pretty good run back after the fumble. Out past the 40, a flag comes in, and he's wrestled down around the 34-yard line. We'll see if there was a hold or illegal block in there, but nonetheless, impressive run back, Luis Lisario.
Lisario does a great job on this one. Now we know why they were doing the onside kick. They didn't want
Kick it away from him
to have a chance to bring that kick back, but he follows his blocking and a nice wall. They set that return up to go right, and a great job setting it up. And you'd almost hate to see the flag in that situation. I mean, you really do. A really well-executed kickoff return by Coahuila. But where he threw the flag, it's going to come back, because he threw it behind the runner, and you can see everybody walking back, and that's a shame, because it was well set up. They had the wall going around the right side, and as you see so often, when there's a fumble on the kickoff return, it always seems to happen that a big return ensues, and that's exactly what happened on that play.
Do you think the coverage team just loses its edge? They assume that it's going to be an end to the play, and that maybe they lose their defensive formation and assignment?
Well, I think that happens anyway when you get a 34-0 lead. I think you do start having that drop off. You don't intentionally do it, but you do it. They just run 2 consecutive onside kicks, and then you had that one.
Trying to set it up with the dump off to the left, incomplete. Kenji Alaman out of Saltillo, Mexico, the intended receiver.
Well, and you can see a little frustration now from Aaron Munoz, and you know, I don't blame him. He's had some red shirts in his face for most of the ball game there, and he put that football out there, and he's trying to get something going. I mean, they've worked hard all week. They've tried to get their system going and get it in place, and he'd like to make a big play. And the biggest play of the first half was that kickoff return, and it came back on a flag.
2nd and 10 for Coahuila from the 31. That was blown up. A blitz there from USA 16 National, and a couple of them combining for the tackle. Evan Oliver and big De'Aaron Sagi
Yeah, Agusagi, he's made a couple of big plays in the first half here. And you talk about big guys, 6'2", 340 pounds. And when you see number 98 come through there, that's almost not fair. he came through there, pushed the guy inside the guard, and he came through scot-free to make that tackle in the backfield.
High praise from Fred Biletnikoff Jr. He said in our pregame scouting report, in my opinion, he's the best 2023 interior defensive lineman in the country.
Yeah, he's listed at 340, but I'm sure he had breakfast this morning, so I bet it's at least 350 coming in there for this ball game today. But he's proved to be very mobile for a guy who's 300 plus, and we've seen him play on both sides of the line. They've used him on the left side and on the right side.
There goes Saggy at James Bowie High School, Grand Prairie, Texas. Now 12 Texans on this roster.
Christian Artiga, one of the guys there helping out on the stop, coming in with a good tackle. And that's one thing the USA team has done today. They have all tackled well in this game. And, you know, the Coahuila team may not be the fastest team you will ever face, but it's still easy to miss tackles. And for an all-star game especially, these guys has come up, they've kept their heads up, and they've made really good tackles. You've never seen the first guy miss, and you see that a lot in this type of game.
4th and 14. Punt formation for Coahuila. Andre Macias set to punt it away from the 15. Now fielded on a hop, bobbled, fumbled, and recovered by Coahuila. Risk reward in that situation. It's an all-star game. He wants to bring it out, but that was not an easy ball to pick up. It was knuckling toward the return man.
Yeah, Daniel Demery already has a touchdown in this game, has an interception that he returned for a touchdown. This time, he just took his eye off the ball, reached down to pick it up, and he was looking downfield at the onslaught coming his way, and he just could not pick it up in time. And give Coahuila a lot of credit. They got downfield, they had good coverage on the play, and once he made that bobble, they were there to pick up the recovery.
Best field position today for Coahuila.
Now right here, I think they should take a shot in the end zone. Whether guys covered or not, just take a shot in the end zone. Try to get back there. He's in the shotgun formation. You should have time. Just throw it deep. Just uncrank it.
Empty backfield, 5 wide for Aaron Munoz. And they go with the quarterback draw right up the middle. They picked up 2 or so.
There was an offensive lineman who moved early, and I'm not sure if the officials saw it or not. And it looks like they're just going to spot the ball right there. So, but number 59 got off to a quick start. I mean, he beat everybody off the ball there, and that was a good no call by the officials.
Davey Pombo in on the tackle out of Kerman, California, Liberty High School.
Munoz is only 5'5", 154, so he's.
A slant play, catch made, immediately tackled. Braylon Johnson.
That's what they're going to have to do to have any success in this ball game. The quick passes like that on the slant, hit his man really quick. I mentioned that he was only 5'5", so he's not going to have an opportunity to see downfield much. That's why I just wanted him to put a guy on the sidelines and just pump it deep. Once he gets in the pocket with his size, he's not going to have an opportunity to scan the field. First of all, he won't have time, but he also won't be able to see once the guys get close to him.
2 wide on each side for Aaron Munoz. 3rd and 5 for Coahuila. Trying to find a few points before halftime. Fake of a handoff. And it's dropped.
Well, and it was just the defensive pressure that time that forced a bad pass. I mean, basically, he had a guy who was wide open. He was telling him what to do before the play. You could see, I thought it might be a little miscommunication on that play, but Munoz got his running back in the right position. He was open over there. They might have been able to pick up the first down, but it was a bad pass, and the reason why the pass was bad because the pressure was on. I mean, Team USA is getting in that backfield so quickly, they're able to pressure him a lot today.
Andre Macias, the intended receiver. Coahuila takes the timeout. Out of this 4th and 5 play. 4:09 left here in the first half. What are you most impressed with on the defensive side for the USA 16 national team?
Well, it has to be that defensive front. I mean, they have dominated this ball game. I mean, they've made sacks, but they've gotten in there and they've done a good job of freeing up the linebackers, because most of the two big guys inside, they're getting double teamed a lot in this game. And so it's freeing up the linebackers to make stops. But even with the double team, they're still getting in the backfield and making the plays, and they're making their presence felt. And this just seems like a very aggressive group. And I know there are only 11 red jerseys out there, but sometimes it seems like they have 13 or 14, because those guys are all over the place, no matter what Coahuila tries to run on offense. You know, these guys are all stars, and we're seeing it today in this ball game. They're getting a chance to show off their skill sets, and we've seen a lot of big plays, and we're just in the first half.
Fourth and 5. Oh, and now the USA 16 national team will call time. And we will take the break. 34-0 USA 16 national over Coahuila. First of 4 games today at the International Bowl.
Can't guard me, I'm telling you.
Hello, son. Doing a little sporting, I see.
Dad, not cool.
You know it's not uncool? Old Spice After Hours. It whisks sweat away into the night with jazz.
Dad, I prefer Ultra Smooth. It handles sweat without all that jazz.
Let's settle this over a game of...
Don't say it.
Don't say what?
Horse.
That's my boy.
Wasn't me, baby. No, it wasn't me, baby. Baby, wasn't me. Must have been some other body. Baby, wasn't me.
Free 2-hour grocery delivery. Now with Prime.
Welcome back. 4:02 left, second quarter. High school football on ESPN. It's the International Bowl. USA 16 national, a big lead. Coahuila, back-to-back timeouts. A wide-ranging coaching staff for the U16 national team. Stephanie Bolachko lives in Pittsburgh, a defensive line intern with the Pittsburgh Steelers of the NFL. So coach with the Pittsburgh Passion. Wide-ranging experience for her as the pass is nearly intercepted. It's a turnover on downs. Good coverage on that back side from Quincy Nevins.
Yeah, Quincy Nevins had great coverage right there. I mean, he stayed, but his man was in good position. Pass was not that bad a pass, just great coverage on the play, and there was really no chance to get that completion. But I like the call to go for it on 4th down. It was 4th and about 5. You know, take your best shot. You know, you got good field position for the first time here in the first half, and they just could not convert.
Now the United States takes over. 5 touchdowns so far in this first half. Back to Brennan Storr. Highland Park High School quarterback. Flips it out. Catch made. Bruce Mitchell. Another catch for Batman.
Batman's had a heck of a first half too, but I've been really impressed, not just with the receivers, but with both of these quarterbacks. I mean, you look at Appler's done a really good job when he's been there. He's thrown the ball deep and he's thrown it well. And Storr started the game off and he's come back and he's done a fine job.
Handoff on 2nd and 2, first down for the United States. Carson Green with the carry.
You know, Green played in the International Bowl as a 7th grader. So I'd say he has some experience.
That was 2 years ago. He's now winding down his freshman season.
He was named MVP with a record-breaking total yards of 319 yards.
Dumped out to the right side. Catch made. Deacon Tonelli, the tight end.
Still doing a good job of moving the football around, getting it into a lot of different hands. That's always a key for success, because as a defensive unit, you don't really know who to key on, even though these receivers, Mitchell has done really well. But he's getting the ball to everybody.
Good coverage from Coahuila. Immediately take down Carson Green. We're out of Reagan High School in San Antonio.
Yeah, they talk a lot about, the coaches were talking about his versatility. They said not only do they like him as a runner, they like him as a pass catcher. He can do so many things, and they said he's even though he's a freshman, he's even improving his blocking, which is always a plus.
Better tackling again from Coahuila. They stopped the U.S. on this 3rd and 6 play. Again, they tried the dump off to Green.
And that was Green showing off his hands. We were just talking about his versatility. That time he comes out of the backfield, puts the numbers in front of the quarterback. He gives him the ball. And as you mentioned, Matt, just a great tackle right there by the Coahuila defense, coming up with a big play to set up a 3rd and 6.
First down. It went out to the right side for the tight end, Deacon Tunnelli.
You know, when you take a look at that play, that's a byproduct of all the deep passes they've completed in this game. The defensive backs have had to give so much respect on the outside because they've been beaten deep a couple of times in this ball game. Asanubi went deep a couple of times. Mitchell went deep a couple of times. And so even though it was 3rd and short, 3rd and 6, look at the space. They're giving them like 10 yards on the outside.
Man in motion, handed off to the running back. He'll spin away from the first tackler, bounce outside. Another good ankle tackle. That was Lionel Borrego as he brought down Ty Favai.
Favai on the carry, but you have to tip your hat here to the Coahuila defense. And what I mean by that, I know they have 34 points on the board, but they've done a really good job of shutting down this running attack. The USA national team definitely has the weight advantage up front, but they have not been able to run the ball with the success we thought they would.
He eludes the pressure. Storr running forward. He'll stay on his feet, and he's down to the 33-yard line. Storr described as a very polished freshman quarterback. Can beat the defense with his arm and legs.
And we saw him use his legs a little earlier in this ball game. Not the fastest of foot, but he's fast enough. And you saw it right.
Well, we apologize for the technical difficulties, but a dominant first half put Sandor, USA 16 national, a big lead over Coahuila of Mexico.
And we saw some outstanding performances by the USA national team here in the first half. I mean, we mentioned before the first drive, they looked a little sluggish. They put the ball on the turf a couple of times, but they still finished off the drive with a touchdown, and that was impressive. That was very impressive. And we've seen the two quarterbacks, both of them, Brennan Storr and then Liam Appler, both of them with impressive first half, and the receivers were just outstanding.
Recapping the first half, a couple of touchdowns from Ko Asanubi, the first and the fifth. They had a couple of touchdown rushes from the running back, Jaden Alston, and then an interception return for a touchdown by Daniel Demary. Halftime and game number 1 today, USA 16 national, a big lead over Coahuila of Mexico.
Can't guard me, I'm telling you.
Hello, son. Doing a little sporting, I see.
Dad, not cool.
You know it's not uncool? Old Spice After Hours. It whisks sweat away into the night with jazz.
Dad, I prefer Ultra Smooth. It handles sweat without all that jazz.
Let's settle this over a game of...
Don't say it.
Don't say what?
Horse.
That's my boy.
High school football on ESPN, the International Bowl from Arlington, Texas. At halftime in the first of 4 games today, USA 16 national, 34-0 lead over Coahuila of Mexico. Matt Peterson and Butch Sandor on hand. We expected the USA to be the favorite but maybe not that much of a dominant first half. That was very impressive from the U-16 national.
Extremely impressive, and it might be easier to say what they did wrong, and that was nothing in the first half. They executed every aspect of the game. They ran the football, not extremely well between the 20s, but when they got in the red zone, they ran the ball to score touchdowns, and their passing attack was outstanding. They threw the ball deep, they threw it over the middle, they threw it near the sidelines, and Stora and Appler were very impressive at the quarterback position.
For the head coach, Fred Biletnikoff Jr., you have to nitpick and find something they didn't do well. Maybe those 2 onside kicks, which they didn't recover.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's if you recover an onside kick every time you try it, you're really doing good. But, you know, defensively, they were outstanding also. They did a really good job of putting pressure on the quarterback. Coahuila had big problems trying to get anything going offensively. They could not get anything going. It'd be interesting to see some of the stats, but they just could not move the football. And that defense spent most of the first half in the backfield. And when you have your big old defensive linemen back there disrupting things, you're not going to get a lot going on. And they had trouble moving the football. In fact, they were only in the red zone one time the entire first half.
2 touchdowns from K.O. Asanubi. Jaden Alston with 2 running touchdowns and a pick 6 from Demary. We'll take a break, come back more at halftime. 34-0 U-16 National over Coahuila.
Alexa, tell me about Neptune's Sorrow by Olivia Watson.
It's a masterstroke of heartache, brutality, and redemption.
The mist crept into the pivot hole beside her. David, what did you think of the book?
It's a masterstroke of heartache, brutality, and redemption.
You didn't read it, did you?
I didn't, but I will.
The Lexus NX, modern utility for modern obstacles.
Lease the 2020 NX 300 all-wheel drive for $359 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
There may be trouble ahead, but while there's moonlight and music and love and romance, let's face the music and dance.
Free 2-hour grocery delivery. Now with Prime.
Can't guard me, I'm telling you. Hello, son. Doing a little sporting, I see.
Dad, not cool.
You know it's not uncool? Old Spice After Hours. It whisks sweat away into the night with jazz.
Dad, I prefer Ultra Smooth. It handles sweat without all that jazz.
Let's settle this over a game of...
Don't say it.
Don't say what?
Horse.
That's my boy.
High school football on ESPN. International Bowl from Arlington, Texas. USA 16 National. A 34-0 lead over Coahuila of Mexico as we start the third quarter.
We start the third quarter, and Coahuila should get the football first. USA started the game with the football, so we will see how that works out, if they can do something to mount something offensively. But to this point in the game, we mentioned it's 34-0. Part of the reason it's 34-0 is because that USA national defense has just been outstanding in this game. The defensive line has totally dominated the first half. They've made it really tough for Coahuila to get anything going at all offensively. They have not been able to run the ball. It's just been the short pass has been the one thing they've been able to accomplish, and we'll see what they can do with that in the second half. Now, as Team USA prepares to kick off, I want to remind everybody at home the USA national team actually had 2 onside kick attempts in the first half. So, you know, don't jump out of your chair if they try to do it here in the second half. We would not be surprised.
Both were recovered by Coahuila, but that's a point worth mentioning. Got to keep Coahuila on its toes, and we've seen impressive returns. Aaron Munoz and company, a few others. Maybe a reason for those onside kicks after the scrimmage over the weekend between these teams.
Yeah, and that's what you can get a lot of information out of those scrimmages for the coaches. They really work out well.
Goes the distance with the kickoff. It's fumbled towards the 20-yard line, picked up just in time, and tackled around the 11-yard line.
Well, that one worked out just the way you drew it up. They got the ball near the sideline. It took a funny little hop. And Coahuila could not get the handle on the football. They could not get a clean return on it. And I think that's what Team USA was trying to do the last time they did a kickoff, except Coahuila got a big return. This time, not quite as lucky, as Team USA is right down there on the coverage. And that ball was hard to handle. It was hard to pick up.
Ryan Meza with the tackle on special teams from Eloy, Arizona, American Leadership Academy, Queen Creek.
Looks like Aaron Munoz is going to be back at quarterback. I thought we might see Manuel Martinez to start the second half, but we have not seen him yet. So far, it's been all Munoz all the way for Coahuila. You know, if I'm the Coahuila coach at halftime, I'm telling my guys, and here you see a guy running on late. That happened a couple times in the first half. They're just having a hard time, and they have a lot of players that are playing a lot of minutes, and that's contributing to this also.
Handoff left side, it's stuffed. Immediately tackled. Good read from the U.S. national team. Evan Keefe on the stop out of Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Yeah, Evan Keefe read that play all the way. He shot in there, came off a block and hit him in the backfield. Just a fine defensive play. But if you're the coach for Coahuila at this point, you wanted to go in there at halftime, tell you guys, okay, you know we're outmanned. They're a little bigger than us. They're a lot faster than us. Let's try to go back to basics. Let's try to go back, find out what we can do in this ball game. Let's do it well. Whatever it is we can do, let's do it well. And if that's just getting in and out of the huddle, we're going to do it well. But let's go back and start trying to execute something out on the field.
What would you call? What would you try against this USA U-16 national team defense?
I think they got to get the ball out of Munoz's hands as quick as possible. Hit some of your running backs, hit some of those crossing patterns, and this time he rolls out.
It's away from the rushers. Catch made, immediately dropped around the 27-yard line, and a flag comes in late.
Man, I tell you what, that was the best executed play from an offensive standpoint for Coahuila and their entire ball game at this point. And the penalty is probably going to be against USA national team for a big hit there. It was number 21, Will Stallings Jr., and that may be a targeting hit. I mean, he came in, hit him late, or hitting a defensive receiver or something like that. But Coahuila coming out the second half with a big execution.
That's his first of the game.
Stallings Jr. with the call. We had a targeting call yesterday. Of course, a very important targeting call in the national championship on Monday night.
Took out one of the best players for Clemson and could have had an effect in that game. And but the way the rules are stated, you know, for that particular incident, he did launch his body. You cannot launch yourself at an opponent. They're going to call it. If your head's down and you launch, they're really going to call it. And that's what happened in that game. But it was, you know, we're not rooting for one team or the other. We're rooting for Team USA. But it was good to see Coahuila come in and execute an offensive play.
Rush comes quickly out to the right. They set up the screen, immediately wrapped up. Impressive tackle from Boston Bauer from Lake in the Hills, Illinois.
Yeah.
Coahuila, something going. And I think, you know, my basic football knowledge is the defensive pass rush from USA 16 National is so good. You know they're going to get on the quarterback quickly. I would roll him out on every play. He's not going to stand in the pocket. Either get rid of the ball or roll him out, because the big pass play, he got away from the pass rush.
He can't, and and if you can't block him, that's one of the ways to minimize that pressure. They tried it in the first half. They got away with it a few times, but they had a good play the last time.
Wobbly snap, he throws it downfield. I would roll him out every single play that he's not dumping it off, because he has some foot speed. He can outrun these defensive backs at least to get outside the pocket and get a play downfield.
Yeah, they have to have him in a situation where he has that run pass option. It gives them both things to worry about. You put pressure on that, but he cannot, I agree with that 110%. He cannot sit in that pocket. One, even if they don't get there, they get close enough to him where he cannot see downfield. He has to get out. When he gets out in the open like that, he can see the whole field. He can see guys coming across, and the biggest play of the day came on a rollout to the right, and he hit a receiver downfield, and they had the penalty on top of that.
Coahuila calls time before this 3rd and 12 play. Just over 3 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter. We take the break. U-16 national team 34, Coahuila nothing. 3rd quarter from Arlington.
Riddell has been at the forefront of innovation in football equipment. First, we invented an icon. Then, we created football's leading impact monitoring system. We also introduced a truly customized interior. And now, we reimagined the DNA of the helmet. By constantly operating at the forefront of technology, our engineers are designing the future of the game today.
Football has evolved countless times, becoming the game we love today. We believe tomorrow's version can be a smarter and safer one. That's why we created the football development model. It decreases contact and focuses on progression by age, skill, and game type, starting with fun and fundamentals. It gives athletes more ways to play and more reasons to stay. Help us create a smarter and safer football that brings people together. Explore the football development model at usafootball.com/FDM.
Will you be the selected one? Are you giving us everything you've got to be the best you can be? You got to dig down deep. Every drill, every competition. Don't even represent just your family, but this family. You got to be willing to let that blood flow. You got to bring it out in you. What we want is a band of brothers coming together. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. Here we go. Get loose.
Welcome back. AT&T Stadium, the International Bowl. First of 4 games. Dominant start for the USA 16 national team, up 34-0. Coahuila called time before this 3rd down play. They dump it off left side. He'll race for the first down marker, but come up short. Needed 12 yards on that pass play. Picked up about 6.
Ryan Mesa tracked him down there. When he first caught the football, I thought there was a chance that they might break because he had something going on over there. Munoz did a good job of holding on to the ball, dumped it out to him. He had some space, but Mesa really cut down the ground in between the two of them really fast and yanked him down.
Fourth and 7.
You know, Mesa's one of those guys, he's a safety, but he has that corner type speed, and he's a big physical kind of guy too, and you saw him track down the running back there. That was pretty impressive.
Looks like Coahuila's going to punt. Now they will punt from the 39-yard line. Good kick. Bounces inside the 20. He's going to roll to the 10.
Boy, that's his best punt of the game. I mean, he's been under so much pressure today trying to punt the football. He's been barely getting it out of there, and he's hit a couple of line drives, but that one he kicked it high and deep, and they'd had great coverage downing that ball around the 10. So this may be the worst field position that the USA national team has had in this ball game.
Well, these national teams came from a wide range of tryouts. A lot of coaches that have applied to be part of the coaching staffs. But 18 regional tryouts last spring and summer. And the coaches picked the best players for these national teams. Now, handoff on first down up the right side. Pickup of 4 or 5, wrestled down by 2. Carson Green, the ball carrier.
Carson Green out of San Antonio, and this may be the time in the ball game where they start to assert that running game. You know, assert some of that muscle and kind of make it happen. Would not be surprised at all.
Now a run to the left side. Big pickup. Out to midfield. He has space in front of him, glancing over his shoulder. Andre Craig, long touchdown run.
Well, Andre Craig, I mean, did that look like he was going to go all the way? Not when it started, but he did a good job. And once he got on the sideline, he showed off some of that speed. He's one of these guys. They told us before that he is an explosive guy. He has that big play ability, and you saw it there. Once he got on the sideline, it was good night because he kept looking behind and there was no one there. They had the angle on him. You thought at some point somebody was going to cut him off, and it never happened. A great run by Andre Craig.
It's funny, the coaches told us he continues to grow, get taller and taller, and make a position change to wide receiver in the future a possibility. Well, he ran it in like a wide receiver. He was looking over his shoulder. Typically a running back just runs it in, less showboating. That was some fun there from Craig.
You know, at this point, it's hard to tell with these guys because they're all freshman players. They're going to change. They're going to get bigger. They're going to get stronger. It's really tough to project at this point what position they're going to be at. But that guy's an athlete. He's going to play somewhere. You saw some of that there. He broke a tackle, started one way, came back the other way, and then once he got on the sideline, like all great athletes, he was able to shift it into another gear. And he goes right down the sidelines, showing off some of that speed. And you and I were just talking about whether or not here in the second half they would be able to flex some of that muscle and get that running game going. And man, did they do it in a big way.
Out of Locust Grove High School, Locust Grove, Georgia, we see the cheerleaders from Coahuila enjoy their 2 days at AT&T Stadium. All smiles from them. An opportunity for the cheerleaders as well to experience a different culture, a different environment. That was a dominant run. Looked like it might have been a short game, but once he turned the corner, took it to the house.
That was impressive. I mean, that was really impressive. And we've seen a lot of outstanding plays in this game from the USA national team, and they just keep bringing it on. And all of these guys are showing they're capable of having big plays. They're capable of scoring from anywhere on the field, and it keeps happening.
Oh, it's recovered by the United States, untouched. USA will take over the 25-yard line. No one took charge for Coahuila. Players talking it over now. It will be USA football.
Yeah, it looked like the return man injured his ankle on the play, and he couldn't get to the football, and nobody else realized they were supposed to recover the football. And that's something that sometimes is lost in translation. You know, these guys go over all the rules, and they have coaches there teaching them the rules. And as we take another look at that kick, you know, the ball is spinning around, and they're all checking it out here, and I don't think number 21 is going in for the recovery. He's the return man, and right there is where he injured his ankle. But he wasn't going in there with a sense of urgency either. And when I see a play like that, I wonder how well they understand the rules.
I agree. Daniel Demary with the recovery. He had the interception return for a touchdown in the first half. On first down, they hand it off. Ty Favai, good carry up to the 11-yard line.
And Pavai is one of those guys. Of course, he comes in with a big rep, and now he's going to get some carries here in the first half. Didn't really break one. You know, everybody's saying that he's one of those guys that he has the potential to be really big. He was the middle school bowl game MVP and has shaken up on the play as he heads to the sidelines.
Well, I guess third time's a charm. They do recover effectively an onside kick. Not intended to be an onside kick, but after their 2 attempts in the first half, Coach Bolitnikoff and company will take some heart in that special teams play. Thrown to the end zone, touchdown. Perfect throw, hauled in by Gavin Jenkins.
That was just a great pass from Storr. I mean, he just put that ball right on the money. He threw him open. When he threw the football, he was covered. But by the time he caught it, it was good for a touchdown. I mean, that was an excellent pass. And number 17, Gavin Jenkins, one of those tall, rangy receivers, making a big catch. He's 6'3", 175 pounds, out of Colorado Springs. You know, that guy's got a future. I mean, that looks like a young Randy Moss over there with that kind of range. But again, a great pass by Storr. I mean, I like the way he the touch on that football, and he dropped it right in there.
Jenkins with Vista Ridge High School in Colorado Springs. Volendikoff Jr., the head coach, he also manages the wide receivers. He has quite the crop on this U-16 national team. Of course, his father, Fred Volendikoff Sr., the Hall of Fame wide receiver. It's 48-0, 5:35 left in the third here in the first of 4 games at the International Bowl.
My name is Robert Pomazek. I'm the head football coach at St. Charles North High School. This is my 7th year in that position. 2 years ago at the USA Football Clinic, I found out about this player monitoring system from a coach at DeSoto High School who had used it with his program, and how game-changing it was to be able to look at hard data on what the physical load the players were taking on. So when I looked into it, it seemed like a clear-cut winner for us to take our program to the next level.
Gatorade packs carbs to refuel and electrolytes to replenish, so you can bring the heat. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Riddell has been at the forefront of innovation in football equipment. First, we invented an icon. Then, we created football's leading impact monitoring system. We also introduced a truly customized interior. And now, we reimagined the DNA of the helmet. By constantly operating at the forefront of technology, our engineers are designing the future of the game today.
.506 left third quarter. It's the International Bowl. USA 16 national team. 48-0 over Coahuila of Mexico. Last touchdown scored by Gavin Jenkins. Great throw from Brennan Storr. 2 really good quarterbacks on this team, and Liam Appler and Brennan Storr.
And they both have been impressive in this ball game. And so is this young man getting ready to kick off, Joshua Gill, the kicker punter out of Kingwood High School. I mean, he's been putting some type of spin on that ball that's been really hard. They've had a tough time catching it and making a return. And here they make the catch and bring it back. But he had been doing a really good job with that in-between type kick.
From the 17-yard line, he breaks the tackle, bounces out to the left side, over midfield, inside the 40, fumbles, and it's recovered by the U.S. just inside the sideline. USA football. What a heartbreak for Coahuila, their best play of the day. It ends in a fumble at the 30.
What an incredible play here, and this time they set the return off. It's set to go to the right side, but he breaks it off. He comes all the way back to the left side. What a great return. He's the young man who went off with the ankle injury the last time, and right there, the ball is just knocked right out of his hands. Just popped right out there. It looked like it was number 33, Jaden Pritchard, the defensive back, who got a hand on it, punched it out, and the really weird thing about it is the ball stayed in bounds. They were right there near the sidelines, and Team USA was able to make the recovery.
Well, just about every fumble is different. That one just stood still. Thrown out to the left side, catch made. DJ Brown with his first catch today. He's wrestled down. Good coverage from Coahuila.
Coahuila comes up with some really good defense on that play. DJ Brown, not a lot of room to work on that one as he's corralled there. And Team USA goes right back to the line of scrimmage with a Liam Appler at quarterback this time.
Handoff, well covered. 2 fine defensive plays in a row from Coahuila. Tackle made by Diego Hernandez as he wrapped up Carson Green. We go back to the special teams play. Jaden Pritchett out of San Benito High School, Hollister, California, south of Santa Cruz. He had the strip. There's a long run back from Luis Lucero. He's done some fine things today for Coahuila. And it's just been, if it can go wrong, it will go on for Coahuila today. They had the other long run, long return that was negated by a legal block in the back earlier in the game. And then just moments ago, a long kickoff return, which ends in a fumble.
5-yard penalty, remains third down.
And that was Lucero also, and you know, he's been outstanding on the returns. And every time a big play happens, there's a flag, or someone punches it out for a fumble. And they have to feel right now that they're snake bitten at this point, because they've made some big plays, which may have allowed them to get on the scoreboard. But when you turn it over like that, it really hurts.
And off up the middle, out to the 40-yard line. They've done pretty well against the run, by and large today, compared to their pass defense. Minimal gain that time for Carson Green.
Yeah, Carson Green, I'm looking for him to break one anytime here soon, because he hadn't really, you know, a lot of good things have been said about this young man, and he has a lot of ability. But you're right, they're doing a good job when it comes to stuffing the run. It's when they spread the field they're having trouble.
I'll try to set up the screen, a low throw, dropped by Hudson Murakami, another player out of Henderson, Nevada.
Matt, that has a lot to do with, though, the speed difference in this ball game. And that's why Coahuila is able to do a good job when they can get their people close to the line of scrimmage and they can stuff the run. But the pass, USA is just running by them deep.
Big throw right side. Incomplete.
Yeah, it kind of must have been a little mishap on that play there. Because you had two receivers running almost side by side, and both of them were open. And had that football been a little bit to the outside receiver, it could have been another touchdown for Team USA. But they ended up with two receivers, and that happens at an all-star game. You know, you're punching people in at different positions. They're going in and out. Different things are happening. And that time it was two guys in the same position. But look at this.
Another catch down the left sideline. Ko Asanubi, his third touchdown grab today, and he'll celebrate in front of the cameras.
And that's a perfect example of what I was just talking about. When they spread it out and they have that speed, and you talk about one-on-one down the field, it's just impossible to stop. And KO with another KO there as he makes the catch there. Doesn't that look like a young Randy Moss?
It does.
I mean, he does. He looks a little bit like Moss, and he's had a great game to this point.
61-yard touchdown catch for Ko Asanubi, his third touchdown catch today.
And he's just a handful. I mean, they could go to KO anytime they want.
High lofted PAT. It's off the upright. 54-0 United States. Down to the sideline with Lauren Leal.
Kids and their families and parents, they get an opportunity to meet kids from all over the country, to play, from kids from all over the world. From a cultural standpoint, it gives them a lead going into college as far as having this type of experience. Not only on the field experience, but there's a lot of things they learn off the field as well.
Right, and for those of you out there may recognize the last name Martin. His son, Zach Martin, plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Nick Martin plays for the Houston Texans. So you know what it's like having your kids in a program like this and the essentials that they learn going into college, going and taking football into their pro life. And we were talking earlier about questions. All of these parents have questions, and y'all stay through all of that, the staff here at USA Football. So talk to us about those regionals, those summer training practices that these kids get to experience.
Yeah, we have summer regionals leading up to this, and there's high school as well as college coaches from all over the country that coach the regionals, and they teach not only different skills, the skills that we believe that's part of the development model, that good techniques, safer techniques, but also they learn about some of the off-field skills, such as how to deal with recruiting and social media, what you have to do to prepare academically to be able to play at the collegiate level. So really, it's a really broad-based experience for these kids, and we have player-parent panels that coaches sit through, and that's some of the best, I think, instruction that these kids and families can learn.
Best instruction from them and you as well. You played at University of Kentucky. Both of your sons play in the NFL, and now you're here giving back to USA Football and helping them as a director and manager. Thank you so much for being with us, Keith, and talking to us about it.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm going to send it back up to you.
Thanks again, Lauren. Great to get to know some of these USA leaders, USA football leaders, and learn more about the sport. I found one interview interesting yesterday. They talked about some of the participation levels declining slightly for conventional football, but rising with flag football, and USA football has embraced that, which is great, because a lot of entities might say, hey, our bread and butter is conventional gridiron football, and maybe let's not embrace flag football, but it's a popular sport. It's growing in popularity around the world, and it's very popular here in the United States at the youth levels.
Well, and it's a way to play football without being right away introduced to the contact aspect of the game. I mean, it takes you into it gradually, where you can decide whether or not you want to continue your participation.
After the play, unsportsmanlike, number 55 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
You know, we were talking just a minute ago about some of the things the director was telling Lauren, and I was explaining to you, and we got cut off for a second there, that is so important, because a lot of kids don't understand the recruiting process. You don't understand that it could be what to look for. Do you go to a school that has your skill sets? What type of school is going to help you in the classroom? What's going to be a better fit for you? You're not looking at all those things, and they help these kids with all of those things.
It's intercepted. And this will be brought back. A flag comes in late, but pending the flag, it's interception return for a touchdown by Isaac Stopkey.
Boy, and Stopkey had his eyes were that big, because he saw this one coming before it happened. He broke on the ball. He saw the receiver. He was waiting for the running back to come out of the backfield, and then Isaac Stopkey jumped up. Actually, he out-jumped the intended receiver, took the football and ran it back in for the touchdown.
After the interception, personal foul, blindside block, 23 of the intercepting team, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
Well, that will negate the touchdown blindside block. Seeing that called more and more at the college level and here at the International Bowl. Still a nice moment there for Stopkey, who plays at Lake Havasu High School, Lake Havasu City, Arizona.
Well, and it's great that they're enforcing that call. I mean, that's the most dangerous block in football. I mean, it really is. And so I love to see officials enforce that foul. And in essence, USA will lose a touchdown on that, but it was just a great play by Stopkey. Reading the running back, that was his man, and breaking on the ball and taking it all the way back, even though it didn't count.
Set up another screen. It's well covered here by Coahuila. Catch made by Trace Bowman, a tight end out of Prior Lake, Minnesota.
You see, I think Coahuila has to break this game down into things that they did well. I mean, they're not, you know, they can't look at this game being successful from a win or loss standpoint. What did we do well? They played that wide receiver screen really well today. You know, they played the straight rush really well. There they are getting into the backfield. They've done some things defensively that they can tap their hats on and say, hey, guys, you did that really well. Give yourself a pat on the back for that.
At large portions of this game, they've really negated the run, limited the run of U.S. U-16 national team. Now is Carson Green wrapped up. 3rd and 14 now. As the seconds tick away at the end of the third quarter. Green now in motion. They'll hand it off up the middle. He's wrapped up the 47-yard line into Coahuila territory. Carry there from Jadon Alston, who had 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah, he was impressive. He was impressive.
The final play of the third quarter. Dominance from the United States U-16 national team. Through 3 quarters, 54-0, Team USA.
Riddell has been at the forefront of innovation in football equipment. First, we invented an icon. Then we created football's leading impact monitoring system. We also introduced a truly customized interior. And now we reimagined the DNA of the helmet. By constantly operating at the forefront of technology, our engineers are designing the future of the game today.
Football has evolved countless times, becoming the game we love today. We believe tomorrow's version can be a smarter and safer one. That's why we created the football development model. It decreases contact and focuses on progression by age, skill, and game type, starting with fun and fundamentals. It gives athletes more ways to play and more reasons to stay. Help us create a smarter and safer football that brings people together. Explore the football development model at usafootball.com/FDM.
Will you be the selected one? Are you giving us everything you've got to be the best you can be? You got to dig down deep. Every drill, every competition. Don't even represent just your family, but this family. You got to be willing to let that blood flow. You got to bring it out in you. What we want is a band of brothers coming together. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. Here we go. Get loose.
Back at the International Bowl, we start the fourth quarter. USA under-16 national team, a big lead over Coahuila of Mexico. Time to punt for the U-16 national team. From the 44-yard line, high booming punt, fumbled and recovered by the United States. Good punt coverage from the U-16 national team. It was Evan Oliver.
Well, it was just a tough punt to catch. I mean, really, you have to make a decision. Just get out of the way of that one because you're coming in. You want to catch it to save that yardage and save that field position, but you're coming in there like that, and it's just tough to make that type of play. He could not make the catch, and Team USA, again, was right there. They had several guys down there to make the coverage there, and they did a good job on that one. But that was a tough catch, really.
Oliver out of Granite Prairie, Texas. Another opportunity for the USA under-16 national team.
And let's see if they go back to the running game a little bit. They have number 6 in the ball game, Andre Craig, who had that long touchdown run just a few minutes ago.
Oh, and he just stumbles forward for a good pickup. Nearly stayed on his feet. Liam Appler back at quarterback.
Take a look, man. That's a big old hole by that offensive line. Number 62 with a nice block there as Craig. That's Jai Rodriguez making a big block to seal that thing out and allow number 6, who's Andre Craig, to go through the hole. And I think you're right, Matt. Had he stayed on his feet, it'd have been his second touchdown of the day.
Throw it out to the left side. 2 blockers out there. He'll bounce inside to the 11-yard line. Deacon Tonelli, the tight end. Good mobility for that tight end.
Good mobility there. It took a little too long to develop. Really, he made the catch and came back inside, and it gave Coahuila an opportunity to recover. Once he came back inside, you got the pursuit coming, and they were able to get there to drag him down. But a good job to force him back inside. So that would go down overall as a good defensive play.
Handoff up the middle. He'll spin to the right. Lower his head. He'll fumble on his way to the end zone. Do they give him the touchdown? No signal just yet. It's a touchdown. Jaden Alston, his 3rd touchdown run today.
Well, all you got to do is let the ball cross the plane, and as you can see, as he dove into the end zone, he had the ball as he dove across the goal line. He was in complete possession of the ball. He lost it when he hit the ground. So good call by the official. It is another touchdown for Team USA and Jaden Alston. And he, speaking of young men, is that his 3rd touchdown of the day?
His 3rd today. 3 touchdowns for Keo Asanubi. Both those 2 possible favorites for the MVP award for today's game.
Oh, it's got to be Asanubi by this point, but we'll see.
Yeah, his total yardage totals have to be maybe approaching 200 yards today. The PAT is no good. 60-0 USA 16 national team. Dominance on all 3 phases for the United States. Under-16 national team up big in the fourth quarter over Coahuila.
My name is Robert Pomazek. I'm the head football coach at St. Charles North High School. This is my 7th year in that position. 2 years ago at the USA Football Clinic, I found out about this player monitoring system from a coach at DeSoto High School who had used it with his program, and how game-changing it was to be able to look at hard data on what the physical load the players were taking on. So when I looked into it, it seemed like a clear-cut winner for us to take our program to the next level.
Gatorade packs carbs to refuel and electrolytes to replenish, so you can bring the heat. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Riddell has been at the forefront of innovation in football equipment. First, we invented an icon. Then, we created football's leading impact monitoring system. We also introduced a truly customized interior. And now, we reimagined the DNA of the helmet. By constantly operating at the forefront of technology, our engineers are designing the future of the game today.
Fourth quarter at the International Bowl. United States under-16 national team, 60-0 lead over Coahuila of Mexico. It's high school football on ESPN, and looking forward to our long day together, Butch. Coming up on ESPNU, under-19 national team. Many of these players committed to Power 5 programs. United States against Panama. Panama always is a worthy adversary, oftentimes an air raid style, as we saw yesterday, as Panama's under-16 team beat the United States select team in a 45-41 game, but that one kicks off around noon on ESPNU. And then 2 games this afternoon and evening, under-17 national team of the U.S. against Japan, and the under-18 national team of the U.S. against Canada.
Yeah, that U.S.
It's fumbled again and picked up. Another touchdown for the United States. First to react, Quincy Nevins.
Quincy Nevins takes it in, but that was just a misunderstanding between the 2 return men. Watch it. One thought he was handing it back to the other one. The other one was running forward to block. And it's kind of like, you take it. No, I don't want it. No, you take it. And he's here. No, here, you take it. And he's going to block. He didn't even know he handed him the football. And then Nevins is right there, alertly picks up the football, and he sprints in for a touchdown. And, you know, it's an all-star game, and you can expect to see things like that, and players not on the same page, and that's what we're seeing right now with Coahuila.
Nevins out of Manville High School, the powerhouse south of Houston. Manville perennially there in the state playoffs. An extra point attempt coming here for Joshua Gill.
Blocked.
Another block. 2 PATs blocked for Coahuila today.
Alertly, Brady Kennedy made the stop. So if there is one thing that USA team would have to work on, would be their extra points, because he's missed a couple, and then you've had the block there, and that's been the only thing that has not gone smoothly for the USA national team, under-16 team. Everything else has been just the way you would draw it up on the board.
And I would say, in my experience watching these games over the years, I think the hardest challenge for these Mexican teams is special teams. I think you can play in the backyard with your friends and do offense and defense, but the special teams is the hard part. 11-on-11 moving parts. The kickoffs are getting more nuanced and more challenging. In the old days of just kicking it as far as you can is not as simple. So for these Mexican teams, they seem to struggle dealing with kickoff return.
Well, and the
kickoff coverage and everything in between.
And the other side of it is the old saying, you can't teach size and speed. You know, you either have that or you don't. And the USA national team has a huge size advantage in this ball game. And what we're seeing in the second half is they're putting that to good use. And it's, you know, you mentioned before, it's going to be a long day for us. It's already been a long day for the Coahuila team. And, you know, they're out there fighting hard. I mean, it's been a long day, but they're fighting hard and they're playing hard, and a lot of guys are actually playing a lot of minutes. So like I said, they have to take this ball game and measure success by different standards than the scoreboard.
Kickoff return from the 20-yard line. Now, he's ran hard all day today. 17-yard return. Luis Lasario.
Lasario's been tough. I mean, he's been tough. He's playing with that ankle. He kind of twisted up early in the third quarter, and he comes back, and he's done a good job returning the kicks. In fact, I think if I'm the coaches, and you know, they probably aren't going to look at a whole lot of this tape after this ball game, but I try to find a way to get that little guy involved more offensively and find a way to get him the football and let him operate on offense as well as kickoff returns. There he is now in the backfield.
It'll be interesting to see how the sport grows in Mexico. We see these regional teams. Coahuila includes the cities Torreon and Saltillo in the southern part of the state. But the sport is growing there. You see the United States and the NFL go into Mexico City. If you travel through Mexico, NFL games are on, college games are on. I think these sports, football, American basketball, soccer, you know, the old days of countries playing just one or two sports is changing, and I think countries like Mexico with a large population, a fervent sporting fan base, I think year in, year out, these teams will improve just a little bit.
You know, the competition is getting better and better, and they're learning more about the American version of the game, and they want to. You know, the NFL also plays in London. You know, you mentioned they play in Mexico. It's on TV in Mexico all the time. And it's something where these foreign teams are going to get better and better. You know, you continue to have these coaches going abroad to do clinics and teach kids and bring them up. And the more they learn about the American game, the better we're going to see some of these foreign teams play in these type of competitions.
Luis Palacios with the catch. He's from Saltillo, Mexico. Tackle made by Will Stallings Jr. for Team USA. Running clock now under 5 minutes left. 66-0 USA 16 national team over Coahuila.
And this week is going to end up being about more the camaraderie than the final score in this ball game, because these guys have got to hang out together. They've got to learn, got to talk about two different cultures really all week long, and that can be a lot of fun. You know, you can do a lot of things, you share a lot of things off the field.
Completion made. Nice work from the quarterback Aaron Munoz to escape the pressure, and he found Lionel Borrego. Another catch for him.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 41 of the defense, 15-yard penalty for
roughing the passer called on Evan Keefe.
Evan Keefe, probably a little late on that hit, late in the ball game. I was about to say, you know, in All-Star game, you got the best of the best. You know, USA Football, they scour the country. They get these guys to come in there. And so everybody on this team is pretty good. And so that's what you're going to have when you have a game that turns out to be a mismatch. There's no such thing as calling off the dogs, because anybody you have in there is capable of breaking a touchdown or making a big play or running an interception back. And outside of just going out there and, you know, taking a knee, you have to run your offense. There's not much you can do except go out there and run the offense.
Under 3 minutes left. 1st and 10 after the completion and penalty. Big throw right sideline, and it is nearly caught. Good coverage out on the perimeter. Quincy Nevins, the touchdown earlier, did a good job against Lionel Borrego.
Yeah, Nevins came back for a while. I thought that was going to be a completed pass, but Nevins did a really good job. Watch him. He comes back, breaks on the football, and knocks it out, because the receiver had a really good shot at making a catch. But Nevins, even though he got turned around, he found the football, and that's one of the most important things for a defensive back. At that point of impact right there, find the football, go up there and attack the football. A lot of situations, guys will attack the man, and sometimes that works out also. But in that situation, he needed to attack the ball for that to be an incomplete pass.
American football growing as an international sport. Now 70 countries span 6 continents that have a national federation dedicated solely to American football. Just 10 years ago, that number was only 40, so nearly doubling in 10 years the amount of national federations with this sport. Another near interception, well read. Quincy Amiss, another San Antonio kid in the secondary for the United States.
Yeah, he's just trying to, again, end the game on a positive note. Try to complete some passes. Try to do something positive to carry over. So when this game is over, you can look at your team and say, you know, guys, it wasn't the way we wanted it to be on the scoreboard, but we did this, we did that, we did this, and we showed that we could make some plays against this team.
Mexico.
Timeout for Coahuila. And here in its 11th year, the International Bowl, they like rotating countries in. So now in 11 years, 12 different nations have been represented at the International Bowl. 4 different continents. Who go down the sideline with Lauren Leal.
From the get-go, and they've dominated, but these athletes have also went out into the community and dominated as well. Coach said for that, their community blitz, they went to a storage facility, moved the entire 3rd floor down to the 1st floor, and these players enjoy doing it. That's how much they love being here and a part of this International Bowl, and Coach said that it validates what they do back home in their hometowns for the coaches and for the players. Now, this coach of the 16 national team, he's been to 5 International Bowls, 2 championships in China, a lot of experience under his belt, but he loves coming back to each and every year to this International Bowl. Guys.
And that coach, of course, is Fred Bolitnikoff Jr. Thanks, Lauren.
We're done.
We went through a few of the coaches prior. Stephanie Balachko, the linebackers coach, an intern on the defensive line with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're on 3rd and 10. They'll be forced out. Now Ben Hammer, offensive coordinator, offensive line coach for the U.S. Under-16 national team. He's with Rock Island High School in Illinois. Ryan Nixon's the quarterback's coach. He's at a Liberty High School in California.
Well, you see Munoz right there again. He wanted to throw the ball, wanted to just couldn't find the guy, and right there he did the best thing. He said, okay, I'm not going to let this game end on a pick 6. So he just took it, stepped out of bounds, and that's going to set up a 4th down. So they're going to go for it again and just try to get something positive. I'm sure if they do not make it, Team USA will take a knee and they'll all go out and have pizza and a Coke and a friend and all that good stuff.
Now, Michael Patterson, the defensive coordinator for the U-16s out of Brophy College Prep in Arizona. Bill Volk, running backs coach out of Aloha High School in Oregon. And Bill Williams, defensive line coach for Shuka High School in Oklahoma. Now flipped out to the right side. Maybe the game's final play. Can he get to the 1st down? He's knocked out. About 5 yards shy. And that will bring to a close this first game. Butch Alcindor, domination for the United States Under-16 national team.
They were extremely impressive today, offensively and defensively. Every phase of the game, really, scoring big touchdowns, explosive plays, and that defensive line was just dominant.
3 touchdowns from Ko Osanubi, 3 touchdowns for Jaden Alston. A dominant display from the United States Under-16 national team. We'll be back at noon on ESPNU. Butch and I will be back Under-19 national team against Panama on ESPNU. Goodbye for now from Arlington. A big win for the United States Under-16 national team.